Backup Smart Help video creates secure tasks. In this video, I want to show you how to create tasks which use HTTPS. Now, you won't use this all the time, and in fact, you probably should only use this if your host imposes these restrictions on you, because quite frankly, you actually have your user credentials in here, so no one's able to just log in and get your stuff and download it anyway. So, but for those hosts that do stipulate to use HTTPS, or if you feel so inclined, then you have the ability to do it. So you simply tick the use HTTPS box. Now, here's where it gets a little bit tricky. If you have a secure certificate or SSL technology for your particular domain name, in question, this one here happens to be called reputation-smart. I don't actually have a secure certificate for that domain name. So if you just think that you can tick use HTTPS with a domain name here that doesn't have a secure certificate loaded on that hosting account, you won't be able to get access to your website, because that's the whole point of using SSL. Essentially, if the web hosting provider uses and you're on a shared system and it uses a certificate for the server, and you just happen to be on that server, rather than the domain name of your site, you have to use the domain name of the server itself. You need to put in here, and obviously you're not going to be putting this in, but this is the server where the Reputation Smart account sits, if I can spell it right. venus.wscdedicated.com. Okay, that is the actual server where that account sits. So I'm on this particular server here. I have a username and a password for that server. And because that server has a secure certificate, I can use HTTPS based on that server. So that will log me into cPanel on that server using my username and password and using HTTPS. Question that I usually get asked is, what if the web hosting provider has or if I personally have a self-signed certificate? Then I'm going to show you what happens, because on this particular server here, it is a self-signed certificate. So it's not from a trusted source. So it's not from a Thwart or from a VeriSign or some other SSL that doesn't have a trusted root level access for the secure certificate. So in the case of this, we've put in the server, we know the server has a certificate on it, we've put our username and password in, we've ticked HTTPS. Now we can check our schedule. For manual tasks, I want the databases. I'm going to right click in the zone here, I'm going to run the task. Now, because this is the first time we've come to the server, and we're saying, hey, I want access over a secure connection, it's going to bring up something like this. Whether you're on a Mac, whether you're on a PC, it doesn't matter. It's going to try and authenticate this particular certificate. So we can view the certificate. We can say, okay, yes, it's this box. This is the box that I'm after. Yes, everything's good. I'm in the right place. And it says here, this CA root certificate is not trusted because it is not in the Trusted Root Certification Authority store on your PC or Mac. So what we need to do is we need to say, yes, we want to add this to our trusted store. So we're going to view this certificate again. Sorry, I shouldn't have clicked OK. See where it says install certificate down here? This is where we're going to click install certificate. And what we want to do is we want to follow the prompts, same on the Mac. It's going to ask you the same sort of stuff. And we are going to place this certificate in a particular store. So I'm going to browse for a particular store, and I'm going to put it in my Trusted Root Certification Authorities. That's where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to click Next. And it's just telling me what it's about to do. It's going to import this certificate into my Trusted Root Authority store on my computer, whether it be a PC or a Mac, it doesn't matter. Finish that off. It says you're about to install a certificate. You say, yes, I want to install this certificate. You say, yes, the import was successful. Then you say OK. And we're going to say no at this point, mainly because we took so long to set this up that Backup Smart has timed out. So we want to re-trigger this off again. As you can see here, Backup Smart's unable to resolve host. We took too long to answer all those questions. So we're going to kickstart it again. Logging into cPanel. And here it goes. It's downloading. So it's accepted the certificate that we have stored now on our PC or Mac. And so subsequent runs will be okay. So just to recap, it is a little bit confusing. Unless you have a secure certificate for your actual domain name, you cannot use your domain name in this domain field. You must put in the domain name which has a valid secure certificate associated with it. If you have a self-signed certificate, you'll have to go through the motions of exactly what I just did. If you have a certificate that's from a trusted root certificate vendor already, then you won't have to do that. It'll just work straight out of the box. If you need to have a look at your certificates on your computer, you can go to your, and this is on Vista, mind you, Mac has a similar trusted root certificate store, and you can go in here and underneath Internet Options, and I'll just bring this over here, underneath, let's find it, it's Content, underneath Certificates, underneath Trusted Root Certification Authorities, you'll now see, here we are, here is the certificate that we just added. So if you ever need to delete it or change it or do anything to it, that's where you find it. And that's done on a per machine basis, your PC or your Mac. And that's just a little bit of show and tell there about how to find your certificates. But once you've set it up once, it will always be there unless you change PC or Mac to another Mac. Or the certificate expires, in which case you would need to go through that motion again.